looking in the crankcase, you can easily see the two marked teeth on the cam gear. And what happened is I actually filmed installing this side cover. It was a 10-minute video, but somehow I deleted it. So what I'm going to do is we will put this side on over here as a show and tell of how that I did this side. And if you see right down yonder at the bottom right down there, this bolt right here, that's a 7/16 bolt right there. That's where your fuel pump bolt goes. And it's got a washer and a nut on there. And the reason I put that down there is the distance between this bolt back here all the way around to this bolt up here. That's too far to leave unsecured. And I did put some gasket sealer around there. No silicone used. The manual actually says don't put anything there. No gasket is required on this side cover. And if you remember, we pre-glued these Babbitt bearings for the reason of no oil escaping around the housing. And that's the very reason to put the Permatex or Gasola sealer behind this, is you do not want any oil seepage. The caps are secured, and the two shims, let's remove them, and we're good to go. Scrape the bearing, it's good to fit. And if you can see right in there, you can readily see the two teeth that I painted white, because the punch marks are not on this side, they are on this side. So if you mark them, it makes them really easy to see. And we are going to time the crankshaft to the cam now. But this is all secured, a thin washer behind each nut. This will be removed later and the stud bolt put in there. This is all assembled, tight, ready to go. The next, what we need to do now is install the crankshaft. Let's get it in there. And the gear goes that way over yonder. The crankshaft, it's clean. I wiped it down with a cloth. The tooth is marked. So, and earlier statement that I made is some of these housings right here are so bad, the casting flange on that and the casting flange on the crankshaft here it's too much. Sometimes they just won't go in there, and at that point you have to either grind away the housing or this, or remove the cover over there, which the book states to do it this way. But oh yeah, went right in there. And most of them do. Most of them will go right in there just like that. So the crankshaft is in there on the Babbitt bearing on that side. No attempt at this point has been made to line up the teeth. The next step is to install this side cover over here. I'm going to put some gasket sealer here because I do not want any oil seepage out between the two flanges. I'm going to use the non-hardening Permatex brand non-hardening gasket sealer, and just a very thin coat, as this is a machined surface. This is solely to keep oil seepage from between. Well, if I decide to paint this engine, well, it's not. I'm not sure I'm going to paint it even. It's one of those that probably should be left in the raw with a protective coating on it. So we'll make that decision when the time comes. But you can see I just put a real nice thin coating of the number 2 Permatex, the non-hardening grade. You could use the hardening type here if you was to whoosh. And I do have some gasola underneath this right here, and I've already broke the top part down there so we can get it on here. And you remember we got them alignment pins already in there, and just get that started up in that one down there and that one down there, and if need be. Okay. Now something that I did on the other side, and I would, well, it works for me. These bolts right here are these original ones that come on it, but the holes are way too big. That's probably the reason for these alignment, to get everything in alignment. And these are too big. So, and there's no washer goes on the backside. The washer goes out here, but yet there's still a lot of play in there. So for me to be of peace of mind that I don't have a leak when I paint the engine, what I do is put that Permatex right on there, take my finger, come around through there, and just make a fillet. And then what I'm going to do is stick my hand up in the back of yonder, up in the back of this crankcase, come up through yonder, and then y'all see it come out right there? Okay, I'm going to put all of those bolts in there, all of these bolts, with the fillet of Permatex on the square. These were all square bolts, original equipment that came in this, and then you just fillet that around there, and it will seal that so that you do not have a. Okay, I'm going to stick my hand up in yonder and come around, turn the crankshaft a little bit where I can get to the bottom one down in there, and find that hole. Where is it at? Over there. Okay, you see it come out yonder? Okay, we got 2 of them in there. Let's get 2 more. It's just one of those things that actually works and is worth the time to do. Another bolt come through, and the 4th one right down there at the bottom. Just get it right up in there. Okay, there it is. Wipe your fingers clean, and now at this point, this installation, this is the part where we keep everything clean. These are a special washer that was on these engines. So I'm going to stick my hand up in the back of the crankcase back here and hold on the back side of that, put the washer right there, and the nut goes right here. Right there. Just all the way around, a washer. And all of these had a washer on the outside. Repeating myself, no washer goes on the inside. The square head bolt on the inside is a 9/16 size. Most of the time you have to get a wrench up in there to hold it to get a good tight. And these are a bolt where that the regular old American sizes usually don't fit them. So the trusty adjustable wrench works just fine. And tighten these up enough to where that Permatex oozes out all the way around, perfectly good and tight. Okay, that should be sufficient. Very good. A little thinner on a cloth makes removing that excess Permatex quite easy. Once you've got this on there, and if you have did this part right, there will be no evidence that you used a gasket sealer here. Very good. Very clean. Very clean. We'll let that dry. Let's recap. No lock washer on the inside. No gasket. There's just nothing more we can do here. The pins, I would like that dowel pin to be even with the crankcase, top and bottom. So drive it in there just a little bit. Okay, we're good to go.